Welcome to the Ethical Stitch, where fashion meets integrity and style gets a conscience.
It's quite easy to have pledges, and there are plenty of pledges being made in the last 5 years for the industry. But who's holding people accountable to those pledges? Who's saying, you said this 2 years ago, where are you? And it's not a blame game. It's not saying you did not achieve something, but it's about you sharing your challenges. So if someone else can help you and we can see where the potholes are and fill them up. The part that will ensure that the right people make it needs to be a role that the government takes on. So whatever country you're in, whether it's the UK, the Netherlands, Germany, France, the government has a role to play. The EU will roll out these different legislations, but how are the brands going to know what's next or how to do it or how to make those changes? So this is where the government comes in and says, well, this legislation requires you to do this. And this is how we're going to help you, Or otherwise, these legislations are going to be like you're giving somebody an IKEA table to put together with no instructions to build it. We all know that if we get an IKEA table with no instructions, no one's building that thing. So, I'm a massive fan of legislations. I do not think they're the silver bullet. They're not going to fix the problem. They're just one small piece of the puzzle. Of the change that's taken place. So when brands look at it like, oh my God, great, it's going to solve the problem. No, it's not going to solve the problem. The same way recycled plastic in shoes was great, but it's not solving the plastic problem, but it's better than what was. So with that, with Ghana, for example, there are companies that have been formed, like small businesses, that rely on these clothes to kind of sell to other people and make money to live on. So if you were to ban it, then you are taking away their livelihood. What we need to do is send better clothes. Even charity shops in London can't sell some of this waste because the clothes are torn. They've got like armpit stains. All these things that make it unsellable. So we need to think about what we consider waste and send them not your waste, but a product that they can actually sell. That's what we need to do. We need to reword it because waste is rubbish. It's something we want to get rid of. That word is negative. So how can we reword it into something that is positive for the global south? Waste in fashion can be an asset. It can make money. It could be something that kind of rewires how we think. So when you're thinking of waste in the global south, how about thinking about sending them assets rather than waste? The thing about fashion, let me tell you, is the fact that the technology is there. The solutions are there. They are there. They're not where they should be, but they are there. We need to invest in our own future. Stop investing in your own company and your own company's future. Invest in your industry's future. Because when it comes down to it, if I go down, you go down, we all go down in that Titanic of a ship. We're all going down on it. So you trying to save yourself in a sinking ship, you will still sink, right? How can we save our industry? What do we need to do as one? Pull on all our strengths and figure it out. There's this thing where brands just want to work on just themselves. And I'm realizing you are putting your best Sunday best on a sinking ship. You will sink with those two wearing scrubs. We're all sinking together. So instead of thinking just about your company, zoom out a little bit and think about the industry as a whole. You do need to share, and it's so important because, like I said, with one person's problem, another person has a solution. But how would you know that if you're not communicating with them? So the industry just needs to rewire its brain to think slightly different when it comes to approaching situations. And if they can't do it, then the EU will happily do it for them through legislation. To also add, Michelle, I also feel like it's not about perfection, it's about progression. You only get perfect as you progress.
True that.
Because that's when you'll realize where your challenges are, where your errors are, what's going right, what's going wrong, and then you know how to perfect it, right?
Exactly.
But if you're standing still and you're waiting for perfection, then you're never going to. So it's about progression. It's about how can we move forward. And I feel like we've been having this moving forward conversation for 10 years.
Yes, me too. And we're still stuck. I'm like,
we're still sitting here, twiddling our thumbs on our 13th cup of tea. This is brand. We've given them a 100-piece puzzle. That's been thrown up in the air, and we've said to them, put it together by 2027. you know, and they're kind of like, what? So, you know, it's important. That's why it's important for them to pick one piece of puzzle, put it
Yes,
down, and look for the next one, and
exactly.
build it slowly. It's a slow. You take your time, right?
Yeah.
Even though people say we haven't got time and the pressure is on,
Hmm.
sometimes you need to shut all that noise out because that noise makes you nervous and you don't achieve.
Yes. And stuck. You won't move.
You won't move.
Gosh. I feel like as an industry, we're so slow. Trends and, all of that kind of expression in terms of the silhouettes. Yeah, we're up there, but the systems, we're so slow with
Do you
change.
know why? Because it's run. If it's like it's run by my parents.
Yeah.
My parents
Okay.
have no desire to change the way they do things.
Got it.
It
Got it.
works perfectly fine for them as is, right?
If it
Happy
ain't
with my Nokia phone. I don't need an iPhone.
okay.
So therefore, the people that are running the industry are my parents.
I got you.
You and I, we're like, yeah, change, let's do this. Let's go for it. You know, but we're not in that decision making position. Do you see what I mean? So I've said this before. We're talking to the wrong people.
Yeah.
We need to change our language to talk to the decision makers so they can understand it.
Yeah.
The same way I helped my mum understand why a Nokia wasn't the way forward. Get an iPhone, mother. It works better, right? But it took a minute. It took a
Yeah.
minute to get her there. But she
Right.
finally now is like an iPhone genius. But it took a minute. And because she was older and she was in her phone was a trusty phone. She didn't want to let
Right.
it go. Why am I going to go on this shiny new thing that has no buttons and just a screen? It made no sense to her, right? So it's about having that patience,
Yes.
changing your language when you
Yes.
speak to decision makers and letting them know, and this is very important,
Hmm.
that they will make more money if they
Yeah.
take this path.
What does it mean for ethical responsibility in fashion when we think about AI and smart textiles? Are we prepared for what's coming?
No, we're not because we don't know what that looks like.
Oof.
It's really hard to prepare. I think a lot of it is based right now on assumptions of what could happen. We've all watched Terminator. We know the possibilities of what could happen.
Right.
But, but, you know, I think that I don't think we should shy away from something that we don't understand. I think instead of shying away from what we don't understand, make it your goal to learn
Yes.
and understand. So therefore you understand it.
Yeah.
And you can understand it one of two ways. You can understand it like this is amazing. Going forward, I'm gonna invest in this and go forward with it. Or you can understand it and be like, I'm staying away from this. This is not for me. But
Exactly.
let your decision be an informed decision rather than I don't want to do technology because it might take over the world or whatever, which is all the narrative that you see on Instagram and so forth. I will respect your opinion a bit more if you say, Muchaneta, I looked into it. I really
Mhm.
did. And I read this book and I read this person's thoughts on it. And I've come to the conclusion that it's just not for me. Then I'll be like, I hear you. That's fantastic. Some tech is still in its infancy. You can't yell at a 6-month-old because she's not walking yet. Let
Yeah.
her learn to crawl first, and then she'll walk, and then she'll run, and then you'll be happy. But you can't yell at her because at 6 months she's still dabbling about, bum shuffling. Some technology is bum shuffling right now. Trying to
Right.
figure it out. But the thing is, though, with investment, it will get better. But we need to believe in it, and we need to put ourselves in a position where we're supporting it. So the fact that I was able to inspire a student to not go into maybe PR or magazines or whatever, but actually go into the back end of the industry,
Yes. I
the
love.
systems change part,
Yes.
not the fluff,
Mm-hmm.
the system change, and really push forward a new industry was very exciting for me. Yes, granted, it was one student out of 60. I'll take her.
Hey.
I'll
Yes.
take that one. I'll take that one student. You know, it starts with one, doesn't it?
It's true. So that's a wrap for this episode of The Ethical Stitch. Huge, huge, tremendous gratitude for Muchaneta Napel to be here. Thank you so much for bringing your truth, your strategy, and your vision into this space.